One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
We all magically made it to hump day. Much love, honor, respect, everybody. We got Lucy with us. Sometimes she likes to hang out up here, and then when she hears the music start playing, she jumps away, usually. Or when Dad starts speaking really loud, because anytime I'm on the mic, usually, listen, when I speak, I'm not a very soft-toned person. So in person, people are like, why are you yelling? And I'm like, I just got a couple more octaves than you. You know what I mean? Anyways, we're going to be going into a lot of different news that's happening around the world. As you guys see, I have it titled, Zelenskyy says no sign of Putin wanting to end the war, as well as resettling Palestinians. We're going to be updating you guys on all of that, on basically Israel's sweep of Gaza. And then we also have seen now the 800 National Guard troops that we were talking about in D.C. to be deployed have now been deployed, and they're out there in the field right now. So, but it doesn't catch everything that we're going to be covering today. I can't fit it all into the title. But we have like a huge fight that broke out in Florida that turned into a fucking riot. Of course, we're going to go into that. We're going to go into a massive train derailment in central Texas, and it's labeled potentially hazardous. I'd imagine any of those cargo trains, if it were to crash or derail, I would assume that, yeah, it would probably potentially be hazardous. And then we have the whole ordeal that's happening in D.C. National Guard deploys to nation's capital. And then we have details on the Trump and Putin meeting in Alaska being held on Friday. They're starting to surface to the media. Then we're going to be going into Israel, exploring resettling Palestinians from Gaza into South Sudan, which is over there in Africa. Totally different continent, by the way. And then, we got it pretty much ready to go. And then, of course, the whole thing regarding Zelenskyy, says no sign Putin wants to end the war ahead of the Alaska summit. So we got a lot to get through here, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you're all enjoying your morning and hitting that like button, by the way. Got to help out the show. And it's free, by the way. If you guys are brand new to the show, hit that subscribe button because it's also free. Please consider becoming a member, though, starting at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is the exact way that we get to speak, and we're 100% funded by you guys in the Breakfast Club. So thank you guys for making this very shit happen. Without the membership program, this shit can't work, just so everyone knows. You guys signing up and staying members as well, of course, not just signing up, but staying members, it helps immensely to drive this whole ordeal, Anyways, little side note, follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, and breaking news. Of course, this is a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. And we also have a Discord to continue the conversation. Make sure you guys check out the link in the description box down below. of every video, by the way, we have the Discord link. So make sure you guys check that out and join up, man. It's a great family. Also, last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted membership signups, all of these things are going to be presented live onto the show and shouted out. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we've got these platforms right here that you guys can donate to. And, of course, I will read out your chats. I've got the email up, so if anything comes through, I will not be missing it. Real quick, speaking of not missing it, we got Brother Beezer, my man, coming in hot with the 10th spot down there in South Florida, saying, good morning, you beautiful, beautifully broken mofos. Yes, sir. We sure the hell are, dude. So hopefully you're enjoying your morning, kind sir. Thank you for the first super chat of the morning, by the way. It helps out immensely. And we have a goal, everybody, of course. I have the 10 super chats that are what they call them teal colors, so $5 and more. If we hit that record, once we eventually hit that goal, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not super pushing it, but once we do hit that goal for the first time, we're going to do a Discord movie night. So it's kind of like my way of being able to give back to an extent, but we'll all be hanging out. You know what I mean? And Charles, I opened up with Lucy. She was right here. And I said, look, we're starting the show off with Lucy today. So you got to go back, and it's right there. We just started. Just go back 6 minutes. Good to see you, though, down there from Down Under. We got Go Fast Racing up in the building as well. Great to see you, by the way. Good morning to all you legends. We got Papa Penguin up in a beauty, as well as Rabbit of Chaos. Great to see you, by the way. Brother Steve Easy, as well as Frank Lappy. Shit. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We got Path Killer in the building as well, man. Always appreciate it. Thank you. We got Brother GEG, as well as my man 13 up in the building. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Gorilla Biscuits as well. Great to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far. It's a happy hump day, you know? Anyways, we're about to get into the madness. I'm scrolling down to make sure I'm not skipping anything. The system is looking fresh in the whip, Mike. Now we can bump 90s freestyle when I come visit. Yes, that is very true. I'm very psyched on that new sound system that I put in it. And actually, it's a lot cheaper than what people used to spend on audio. Audio is insane. It used to be like people spend 5, 6, 7, 8 grand on a sound system, and now technology and, of course, capitalism drives prices down sometimes, not all the time, but shit like this, in technology, yeah, it's awesome what you can get. We got Wildcard up in the building as well. Good morning, kind sir. Great to see you. We got Brother Steve Posey. Mike, you need to explain to Carney how important the chat engagement is on the algorithm. Something that said on his stream right after you left. Yes, it's extremely. I mean, I think that's something that every YouTuber, if you're like going to be in this space, engagement with the chat is something that I think that you guys see that I do a lot too. You know what I mean? I really enjoy being able to have a two-way conversation. It's not just me and what I'm doing or what I'm trying to present. You guys are the conversation as well. America Uncensored, my man. Great to see you, by the way. We got Scrambled North, as well as Papa D. My man. Some peeps from Motobomb got the wrong link, but some of us figured it out. Hey, man. Appreciate you guys for coming over here, by the way. Over there from Motobomb. You guys are all legends. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Over there on Motobombs, if you guys came from over there, make sure you hit that like button over there. That's very important as well. And hit it over here as well. Listen, there's a lot of craziness that's happening in the world, but check it out. You guys aren't liking it for the craziness. You guys are liking it for me and my takes. You know what I mean? Anyways, real quick, I got to catch up. We got Brother John, man. He's saying, yo, been some time. Bro, dropping a 10 spot like a nothing. Thank you, kind sir. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far. And yes, it has been a long time. I see that you've been working out like a motherfucker, by the way. I see you on Instagram, and I love watching progress. You know what I mean? And you're definitely doing that. We got Brother Slim up in the building as well, my man. Good morning to you, as well as Gunpowder Nitro. We got Motobomb dropping 5 gifted memberships for you guys. Wow. Thank you so much for that, Motobomb. Not only are you helping me, but you're helping people in the Breakfast Club as well, man. I'm very honored by that. We got Todd J as well, saying, let's go freedom and unity family worldwide. Yes, sir. I agree. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into the very first story of the morning. Let me go ahead and bring up the correct page here. Boom. All right, so we're going to start this off. This happened yesterday, by the way. Let me see. This one, the next 4. So 4 things I'm going to show you guys from yesterday afternoon, after the show. You guys know, as soon as I leave the show, there's stuff that happens within that day leading up to right now. So I'm always keeping you guys updated with what's happening around the world in the United States, of course. And so we have a few stories that were from yesterday, but we're not going to watch all of it. You know what I mean? There's a lot here, so we're going to be skipping through and skipping the bullshit, you know. Anyways, this is in Florida. How did this even start? So they're labeling this ferocious Florida fight turns into a riot. This guy's knocked out cold, dude. Look, that's how they start the video. That dude is knocked out cold. Just sitting there facing the mud, bruh. What are they fighting over? Chest compressions. Why is chest compression? He didn't die. I mean, dude probably just got knocked out, motherfucker. You got knocked out.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Chest compressions. It is definitely Florida stuff. Florida activities for damn sure. But they love being crazy. They love that shit. They totally eat it up. We got Dragon Classy up in the building. Good morning to you. 24 likes and 32 in chat. Gave 2. Hey, you guys got to get the likes up, man. Appreciate you guys. Brother Mount High. Shit. That's right. Like button and left-handed tobacco all around. Yes, sir.
Back here for you on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Mike Page. Thanks again for joining us. Next up, let's go out to Polk County, Florida. Sheriff Grady Judd giving an update. Over the weekend, there was a party that got out of hand, and now police saying that it turned into a riot, and they have video from that party that went terrible.
How much you want to bet, America Uncensored, this had to do with some sort of woman? I mean, there was a few ladies in that whole catastrophe there. I guarantee you some dude got drunk, one of their friends or whatever, totally got drunk, and then maybe he started hitting on his old lady or something like that. Maybe he started hitting on some chick that this guy was already interested in. You don't know. You have no idea. But I guarantee you it started over a fucking woman, dude. It seems like that's how this shit always happens.
Wrong really fast. Let's bring it to you here on Live Now from Fox.
Problem that we have done everything in the world we could to correct. We started out with education.
I'm going to speed him up a little bit because he is a little slow.
In addition to education, we tried to be friendly. We tried to coach. We tried to counsel. We pled. We begged. We did everything we could in order to get people to comply on the lakes, on the chain of lakes, and specifically Lake Winterset, and even more specifically in the area they call the Point. We realize you go out on the boat to have fun. We realize you go out to be with your family.
Yo, brother, sick bastard, my man. Thanks for always showing so much love and support to the show as well, man. I appreciate you.
But there's a few people who do things that's so outrageous that it shocks the community. And let me give you some examples of conduct that we saw prior to just this weekend. And at one point in time, I did a video or a piece and showed a picture of
Rob's neighbor. It's just strange.
Someone defecating in someone's
yard. Good morning, by the way.
And I got all of this. Oh, but they were in the bushes and all that. You're in somebody's backyard going to the bathroom. And then we've got these pictures. Okay. Now, I don't know if he's saying, hey, let me help you out of the tree. The private property sign, I guess they thought that was only for the bird. Maybe you should say, hello, Mom, what do you think?
What the hell is this ordeal? No trespassing.
Yeah, of a vacant lot where they pull up to, and instead of staying in the water, where there's a loophole, as long as their feet are in the water, they can be at your back door. But then they get up onto people's property. You see, the sign says, by order of the sheriff. This is not a suggestion. So a week ago, we received a 911 call where there were a group of individuals wants to be, again, being raucous and out of control and fighting. By the time the deputies arrived, they had fled. We chased down one boat, and there were two people there that said, hey, yeah, a couple of guys had a fight, but it's broken up and it's cool. And they wouldn't.
Miss Lotus definitely always seems to be a little on top of the extra. Got to give a little bit of that extra shit, you know what I mean?
Operate. But our Marine Patrol
good morning,
folks,
Miss Lotus, by the way, and the process. Good morning.
Because they created a significant disturbance once again. So I want to tell everyone, so mom and dad and friends can be very impressed. Here's who we've arrested. Now, let me go over this for you.
Why are we going over some shit that wasn't regarding the party foul bullshit? I mean, I guess it says it's linked, whatever here, but I'm not going to sit here for 10 minutes to figure that out. I'm going to move over into him explaining the video.
Here's the video. Oh, there's the first one.
Oh, so it was those guys. So they arrested all of them? Totally wild now. That's right, Mount High. Call that shit out. There's 9 of you guys. I need to hit the like button. Yes, sir. I very much appreciate your hard, laborious work and your work ethic to hit that like button. Appreciate that. Here comes the left-handed tobacco. We need it. We need it. Shit.
Knocks him out into the water.
There's a child there on the boat.
There's lots of children around. One on the boat, watching all of that nonsense.
That's
At the end of the day,
right.
You're going to
You
jail
heard
this weekend, just like these guys did. We're going to
the
load
likes
you up.
up. You heard.
Sheriff, your office recommended the county set up a swim area, vessel exclusion zone there. The county unanimously voted to approve this. It sounds like somewhere in the state, FWC has either held that up or rejected it.
What happens when you pass a county ordinance, and our Board of County Commissioners have been tremendous. We asked for a swim zone so we could help monitor this. They unanimously passed it. It has to be filed with the Secretary of State before it takes effect. They sent it to the Secretary of State. They had some questions about it. They sent it over FWC. FWC had some questions. FWC has sent it back to the county. My attorneys are meeting with the county attorneys today in order to see what it is that the state wants tweaked so we can put that in place. We're also going to work
Brother
with
Slim, I appreciate you, by the way.
the county to see if we can enhance the noise ordinance on the lake as well. We are doing what we can. We have historically tried to warn, to educate, because we want families together.
Well, I really didn't see this being like a total incident where, aside from the boat that was there and there was a child seeing it, it didn't really seem to be out there in the public. It really didn't seem like it was a riot, quote unquote, that happens at like a Target. You know what I mean? Honestly, if these motherfuckers want to punch and shit, you know, they want to do all this shit to each other, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Just keep the kids out of it, obviously. You know, don't allow that shit to be seen by other people. That's lame. But I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with going out to the woods and handling, you know, if you need to handle something or whatever. We're doing this shit in private. We're not doing this shit out on the street. We're going to handle this man to man or whatever. But that obviously was an out of control situation, no doubt. But nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and move on because we got a lot of stories to push through this morning. So we're keeping it pushing, people. And anytime we get updates, of course, we're going to give you guys those updates. That's what we do here. I had sane wheels, man. So here, a little transition here. Real quick before we do, though, hey, quick little announcement.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
That's right, brother. Steve Easy knows what the deal is. Never turn down a fade. That's right. That's a fact, by the way. That's but hey, I don't recommend that for anybody else. I'm just saying that, you know, that's at least what I live by. Anyways, here we go. let's go into massive train derailment that happened in central Texas and labeled as potentially hazardous.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. We are still getting fresh aerials live right now of this train derailment in Texas, near Gordon, Texas, about 100 miles
That's right,
west
Papa.
of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And really the concern right now is this potential active hazmat leak that is happening with these cars and also tanker cars that have overturned on the trackways there. And that is definitely going to be a major concern as you see some of the smoke still in the air here near this.
Did they say exactly what kind of train? I mean, like what they were carrying? The itinerary and your bill of lading, actually, is what it's called, will show what's inside every single one of these, parts of the train.
Derailment. We have first responders there.
How many links have been derailed? It look that are completely on their side. Is it the entire train completely on its side?
On the scene, but one of the first
it's got to be a
really
section.
Matters of business when these train derailments happen is you want to know exactly what's on board, so you got to locate the train manifest.
It was a section of it, exactly. So,
what this train was carrying, and
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on its side that we see visually.
How many loads?
8, 9.
It had of whatever
on this bend. 10
is in those tankers that could be leaking now into the soil.
So 10 are completely off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 10 parts of this train are on its side.
And elsewhere. So, there's 2 points here of this derailment
totally
that you're
sad
seeing.
state
The
of
jumbled
affairs.
mess right there at the bottom of your screen. You can see.
Whoa, look at that shit. Whoa. What is all that?
Could be leaking now into the soil and elsewhere. So, there's 2 points here of
what is all this down here? I don't even know what the fuck this is.
This derailment that you're seeing, the jumbled mess right there at the bottom of your screen.
Oh, wow. There was more than just that. The more than just the 10 that were sitting off, on its side. There's a whole fucking, it crashed into itself, dude.
You could see just about over a dozen of those tanker cars that have just been thrown off the track.
Real quick, we got Christopher Collins up in the building. Shout out to my man. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning. By the way, we got Carney's Ride coming in, by the way, for the 10 months, by the way. And he's an officer. So he's paying the top tier to be, with the amount of support, man. I really appreciate him. So if he says anything, you guys got to listen to him. Anyways, real quick, he says, hook a brother out, everyone. I still need 150. Help a brother out. That's what he meant right there. Help a brother out, everyone. I still need 150 subs. Yes, go over to Carney's Ride. And if you guys haven't subscribed yet, what are you fucking doing? He's always, he's a big part of the community. You got to absolutely help out. So make sure one of the mods drop the link, or Carney as well. Grab your link and drop it real quick so that people know where to go.
And what a sound this must have made for the area here as these tankers got off the track right there. But again, first responders on the scene of this train derailment near Gordon, Texas, about, again, 100 miles west of Dallas. And this is going to take quite some time to get all the officials together for them to, first off, check what the situation may have led to. But again, the first matter of point here is always to try to really locate.
Oh, wow. Real quick, Papa D comes in. He's an upper baby. This is directly from, Youper. I think that's how you guys actually say it. Isn't it? Is it Youper how you guys say it? Not upper. Anyways, baby, this is directly from their PR group. Quote, 35 train cars carrying hazardous material are involved, but none of them showed signs of leaking at the scene. Interesting. Now, I'm sure there is going to be some leaking. I'm totally sure of that. But that's a good PR move. That's, of course. But interesting because there is some smoke and fire that you guys can see off. Not at this bundled bunch of the cars or carts, whatever you call them. Over there on the bend where they're on their side, there's like a fire going on. I just happened to see that. But anyways.
Thank
you for the update, by the way,
from
Papa.
what is coming and leaking out, and trying to get everything stabilized before you get crews in there and close to these cars. But
thank you,
Fox
13.
zooming in just a little bit more to see some of these cars that have been thrown off the tracks, as well as the multiple tanker cars as well that are thrown off. So we'll be keeping an eye on that for you right here on Live Now.
What's up, Only Skunk? Hopefully you're enjoying your hump day so far. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and move on into the next ordeal here. We have Trump federal takeover. D.C. National Guard deploys to nation's capital. We have the update on that. I believe 800 have been officially deployed and are on the street now, protecting their federal buildings. So let's go ahead and bring this up.
And welcome back here to
Live. And we're probably not going to play this whole thing, but because we still have a lot to fucking get through. But we're definitely going to skip the BS and stuff. That's what we do.
Now from Fox, I'm Andrew Kraft. Live pictures there in our nation's capital. They're at the White House. They're at the Capitol. So we're learning
that's right, counties.
Just now that the National Guard has begun deploying in D.C. I want to put this up from the Washington Post here. They say this, that the D.C. National Guard will begin deploying in D.C. streets tonight. That's according to the White House. Obviously, a day after President
Trump. What's up, Papa Penguin? Good morning, kind sir.
Federalized the D.C. police force. So the D.C. National Guard will begin deploying in D.C.'s streets tonight. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said about 850 officers and agents surged into Washington last night following Trump's takeover of the D.C. Police Department and his activation of the National Guard in the city. So as of today, the exact role of the National Guard appeared to still be developing. Earlier today, we heard from D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. She met with Attorney General Pam Bondi about carrying out Trump's...
So real quick, just because I wanted this to play out a little bit here, just to show stuff like this. And then I'm going to go back into, I'm just kind of letting this monologue go on for a second. And then I have the actual update that is from 3 hours ago regarding these National Guard troops. So I just wanted to show you guys the lead up to that, though.
Today, the debate over crime control is engulfing the nation's capital, with protesters speaking out against President Trump's decision to order the Justice Department to take over D.C.'s police department.
This is not about crime. This is about control.
They're losing it.
This is not about public safety. This is about power.
On Monday, Trump invoked Section 740 of the Home Rule Act, temporarily federalizing D.C.'s police, while also deploying at least 800 National Guard troops. The White House says the move will help boost public safety after crime spiked in the district following the pandemic.
This issue directly impacts the function.
Well, Papa, that's exactly why when we discussed it yesterday, it's not just the police ordeal. It's our corrupt judges, corrupt DA. There's so much that needs to change. I really don't think there needs to be more of a force on the street. And this, I'll just reiterate myself. I don't think they don't actually need to bring more police presence or more, or National Guard or the fucking army. It doesn't matter. I don't think that none of the fucking military, more police, any of that shit should be thrown into this mix. I don't think that needs to happen. What I do think needs to happen is that they need to allow these cops to do their fucking job. That's what needs to fucking happen. The cops are only going to do exactly what the mayor and the governor tell them to do. And then you have on the other side of the judges that are just letting these fuckers come out, walk free, scot-free. It's insane, bro. It's an insane, the whole thing. So anyways, it's complex. It's not just cops. I honestly think that there shouldn't be more cops. I don't think that's necessary, or the National Guard. I know he's making a point, but I don't think he needs to do that. I think that the cops just need to be able to do their job. Anyways, back to this.
Of the federal government and is a threat to America. Really, it's a threat to our country.
D.C.'s mayor, Democrat Muriel Bowser, says D.C.'s crime rate is on the decline and called the president's move both unsettling and politically motivated.
While this action today is unsettling and unprecedented, I can't say that given some of the rhetoric of the past, that we're totally surprised.
The president has long accused D.C. leaders of neglecting crime and concerns about homelessness. He's also vowing similar crackdowns in other major cities across the country.
We're starting very strongly with D.C., and we're going to clean it up real quick, and then we'll look at other cities also.
Now, the president's authority to take control of D.C.'s police department is limited. It only lasts about 30 days, and political and legal battles are expected. But this is a debate that's growing well beyond the nation's capital. In Washington, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
All right, so real quick, we don't need them to go into a diatribe of what, they usually bring on a guest and all that and discuss it. We don't need to do that. We have the update as of 3 hours ago, but we're gonna give you guys that update here in a minute. I'm gonna keep this chronological. So we're gonna skip back. We're gonna go back into that, and we'll give you guys an update regarding all of that. But we're gonna go ahead and turn our attention over to Russia, Ukraine. There have been some details that have come out in the media, supposedly, have begun to surface regarding this meetup with Putin on Friday in Alaska. So I have this. We're going to go ahead and present this, and we're probably not going to play the entire thing, but, we're definitely going to get this information.
In the meantime, though, as you know, we're getting more details on the big event, the main event on Friday. The summit in Alaska between President Trump and Vladimir Putin, the Russian leader. We now have a place in Alaska where it's going to take place. It's been reported, according to the White House. It is happening in Anchorage. So let's talk about what to expect with some of our friends and colleagues there at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, including analyst Peter Duran. He joins me. Peter, good to see you. You were on with me on Friday when news of this all broke, and slowly but surely, some of the details of the very summit are coming out here. So it's going to be in Anchorage. I was also seeing that Trump and Putin will meet one-on-one, face-to-face, not necessarily with so many of their advisors and staffers. Yes, I would imagine that's part of it, but they're going to get a sit-down, just them. What do you think they're going to talk about?
Well, Andrew, Vladimir Putin is going to take the measure of President Donald Trump, and Trump is going to know very quickly within the first 2 minutes.
Hey, Papa D, I really appreciate you saying that, man. I take that kind of shit, like, really, I take that to the bank. So I really, really appreciate you saying something like that. I hope that people feel like they can express themselves without getting any sort of, especially disrespect. You don't have to attack me. Attack my points. Attack my fucking argument. You know what I mean? Don't attack me personally. People don't know how to do that kind of shit anymore. But hopefully I can bring that, to light a little bit so people can see that,
if Putin
and actually feel like they have some sort of free voice here.
Stringing him along. This is what Trump has said. Trump does not know what will come at this event, at this summit on Friday. But Trump has guaranteed that whatever happens, the moment he gets wheels up on Air Force One, he's going to be on the phone with Ukraine, on the phone with our European allies, and he's going to let them know whether or not Donald Trump, our president, believes there could be a deal. I got to say, I'm not sure there's a real deal here. I think there's been some complications along the way, but we will see on Friday whether or not Trump makes the call to Europe and Ukraine and says, look, there's a deal.
Charles, I'm not actually opposed to that. That's actually kind of a smart idea. I think people would get a kick out of it. No pun intended. But I really do think that that would be a good idea to eventually implement. So I appreciate this suggestion on that.
Or no deal on the table.
So, Peter, land concessions are being brought up in the conversation of telling this story.
And that's the part I hate.
On the Russian side, possibly giving up some of the territory they hold. On the Ukrainian side, Russian requests to have Ukraine give up the Donbas region entirely in the eastern part of the country, most of which is already under Russian occupation. Zelenskyy has, essentially dismissed that very notion outright here. Is that a non-starter for Trump, or is it on the table?
Well, right now, Andrew, Trump is trying to save face, and we can draw this all back to what we might call the Moscow mistake. So, Special Envoy Steve...
Envoy, not envoy. Oh, my God, these people. Real quick, guys, right here, right now, I'm running a poll. Make sure you guys vote on the poll right now. I'm asking you guys regarding Russia, Ukraine. We're talking about it right here, right now. So make sure you guys hit that vote and also hit that like button. It's free to do so. I really appreciate your laborious work.
Steve Witkoff was in Moscow on Wednesday, and he was alone. He didn't have any American diplomats with him. He didn't have any American translator with him. And it looks like, from public reporting, that Special Envoy Witkoff misunderstood what Putin was saying. Witkoff thought that Putin was saying he would give up territory. Instead, what Putin was really saying was that he was demanding territory. And Special Envoy Witkoff told President Trump, Putin was ready to make a deal. He's going to give up territory.
You know, that's one thing that I have learned on the internet. Working with other women on panels and stuff like that, that's bad business. That's bad business. Like, just don't do work with a woman. You know, I'm just being honest with this whole thing. I'm just going to be honest. That's just the way it is. I'm not saying there ain't kind and very good women that do their thing, whatever. Dudes don't know how to fucking act when women are around. They just don't. They don't know how to fucking act. Anyways, back to this.
And all of these wheels started rolling into motion. Andrew, it wasn't until Saturday that the Europeans and the American side realized what had happened. And now Trump has to go to Alaska, sit down with with Vladimir Putin, and in the first 2 minutes, he'll know if there's a deal on the table or not. And then he'll talk to the Europeans and the Ukrainians.
So, Peter, it was also reported that, and I have been asking guests like yourself.
That's not my fault you were late to the show, Charles. That's not my fault. I opened up the show with her, and I said, make sure you guys hit the like for Lucy. Man, shame on you. Shame on you. Usually it's shame on me, but this time, it's shame on you.
The last couple of days, whether or not, the Trump White House will usher in Zelenskyy from stage right there at the summit. That's not going to happen, according to the reporting. Zelensky's not going to be there. I was also struck by that this meeting was initiated at the request of Putin, while Witkoff and Putin were meeting in the Kremlin last week here. Should we look into that at all? Should we read the tea leaves that Putin requested this meeting or not?
Well, Andrew, I think that's important. It shows that the Russians know Donald Trump has economic leverage over them. He has economic power over them. He has said, I am willing to...
What's up, Brother Dean? Great to see you, by the way. And yes, happy hump day to you and everyone that's hanging out with us this morning. I really appreciate you guys. And as well as you guys hitting that like button, man. It helps out the show immensely. All right, so we don't really have an extreme amount of information that's coming out from this whole ordeal, but I do have right here a little clip of Zelenskyy. We're going to go ahead and skip to that, and then we'll go into Israel. But anyways, let's go ahead and see. Hopefully, they actually translate what he's saying to English and not just his closed caption, so I'd have to read it.
Здоров'я, шановні українці. Коротко про сьогодні. Продовжуємо
Oh my God. All right. Let me read it out loud. Gotta wait. Hold on. Okay. I wish you health, fellow Ukrainians. A brief summary of today. We continue communication with our partners for common positions, strong positions. I spoke with President Erdogan. I think that's how I fucking did it too quick. But it was a good conversation, as always, with very well-placed emphasis. I am grateful for the support of our independence, our territorial integrity, and our people. And most importantly, God dang it, it's going too fast. I gotta bring the speed down. There we go, because I brought it up for our people. And most importantly, for supporting the position that peace can only be lasting with Ukraine's participation in preparing the relevant decisions. I would like to note Turkey's participation in our coalition of the willing. This is important, and we count on Turkey's active involvement in bringing real peace. And real security closer. I also spoke with President of Romania and Prime Minister of the Netherlands. There is principled stance from European leaders, a clear statement by the European Union, 26 countries, all with us in diplomatic work and in principled positions. It is clear who the 27th is, always against everything. just to be uniquely against. Still, we are in contact with everyone, presenting our arguments to all. Tomorrow, we will continue our work with the United States and with our European colleagues. Today, I also spoke with Amir of Qatar. I thanked him for his help in securing the release of our children who had been abducted by Russia. Hold on. I didn't realize I'm also have this comment up from Dean. My bad. Real quick, we got Holy Skunk that came in with the 5 spot. My man, I really appreciate that. Sorry, I'm trying to give you guys legitimate, me reading this. Okay, hold on. Brought it back. Those are extraordinary mediation efforts. Hundreds of children have been brought back. I informed him about all our conversations with partners and about possible next steps. Today, I also held a meeting with our diplomatic team. The office, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we are preparing certain steps to further mobilize our partners. I want to specifically highlight our agreements with the Netherlands, one of the leaders in supporting Ukraine in Europe. We are preparing additional measures that will strengthen us. In particular, this concerns drones. Today, our military delivered reports about the front line, especially Dobropila, Prokhovsk direction. Steps that have been taken there to correct the situation. Man, he just fucking goes on, doesn't he? He just rambles and goes and goes and goes. Come on, man. Get to the fucking point. And I am grateful to every unit and every one of our warriors who are now destroying the occupier. Positions in Kharkiv region, positions in Zaporizhzhia, something like that. I don't know. Positions in everywhere. We are doing our best to provide Ukraine with exactly the kind of defense it needs. And one more thing. Come on, Zelenskyy. God damn it.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Emotional damage.
I'm trying. Oh my God. There was a meeting with government officials, the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Education. I instructed them to take several steps that could support our people, to support and give young Ukrainians genuine greater opportunities to be here, to stay in Ukraine, to study here, and build their future here despite everything. We will increase scholarships starting from the new budget year. Jesus. Who's going to fund that? Not yourself. You're broke as a motherfucker. By yourself, without, other certain ball players in the game. We will also simplify the administration requirements for Ukrainian higher education institutions, with government officials working in particular, and on the winter administration campaign. In addition, we will change the border crossing rules so that this will be possible for young men aged 18 to 22. The aim is more people to study here, and for young Ukrainians who, for various reasons, are abroad to find it easier to maintain their ties with Ukraine. I thank everyone who stands with us, who stands with our state. I thank each and every who fights for Ukraine, who works for Ukraine, and for the state and the people. All right. That's enough of that motherfucker. Jesus Christ. I'm trying my best here, ladies and gentlemen, and it doesn't really work out when you have an illiterate fuck like me. You know what I mean? Trying to read out some bullshit. Anyways, all right. We're moving into Israel. Real quick, I really do want to thank, I didn't have the proper time to be able to shout it out, but Holy Skunk, I thank you for your 5-spot, man. Thank you for making it rain on us. I really appreciate that. Thank you for making it go towards the goal as well for the show. I appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and get into Israel. We're going to bring this up. Bam.
Welcome back and Alive Now. I'm Austin Westfall.
So this is Israel explores resettling Palestinians from Gaza in South Sudan. So South Sudan is in Africa. It's a whole different continent. So anyways, here we go.
Live look at Jerusalem. It's, if I'm reading the clock correctly, doing my math correctly, 6:45 in the morning there, Israel Standard Time. Lots to discuss in the Middle East, as always. We do have retired Marine intelligence officer and host of the Strap podcast, Hal Kempfer, standing by. Hal, as always, thanks for coming on. Good to see you. So much going on.
Yo, brother Hardwire, great to see you, by the way. Happy hump day.
In recent days. I want to start with something that you and I have discussed almost endlessly since October 7th. The idea of a day after plan for Palestinians. The AP has this, Hal. They say Israel is in discussions with South Sudan about the possibility of resettling Palestinians.
As well as Mark. Good morning, kind sir. Great to see you.
From Gaza to the East African country. The outlet says that it's part of a wider effort by Israel to facilitate mass immigration from the territory left in ruins by its 22-month offensive against Hamas. South Sudan, Hal, is this a new idea to you? Why might they think South Sudan makes sense? And if this ends up a reality, would these people be moving from one war-torn area to another?
Austin, you actually kind of hit the nail on the head. They're moving from one war-torn, Civil War strife-torn area to another that's been just the same. They're moving from one area that has now become synonymous with famine to another area that was synonymous with famine. But you look at all the different places. First off, Gaza is devastated. And if this military operation...
They are fucking devastated. There's really nothing left. But on the top side, there's not much left on the top side. There's still an underground city. How big Gaza is above is equally as big below. It's fucking crazy. Real quick, we got Steve Easy up in the building saying OG triple OG Dyna bro Mike, aka Hooked on Phonics Best. Yes, sir. Yeah. You're just a product of your environment. You dig? You know what I mean? Shit. All right.
To clear out Gaza City and some camps south of Gaza City actually takes place. There really won't be a whole lot left in Gaza that's habitable. So they're really, by necessity, they're having to move them out. They're saying it's a voluntary relocation, but when you have absolutely nothing, I'm not quite sure how voluntary that really is. But here's the issue. They floated the idea of maybe Egypt could take them, maybe Jordan could take them. Both Egypt and Jordan said, no, absolutely not. And by the way, both those countries, especially Jordan, have taken a lot of Palestinian refugees in the past. So they said no. Syria isn't a place to do it, and I don't think Syria would be interested in doing something like that. So you start to run out of countries. They talked about Sudan. Well, that's an interesting idea. They're in a massive civil war right now. But South Sudan, one of the newer countries, 2011, it was formally stood up as South Sudan, although it was recognized by many countries going back to 2005 before, and had been independent before that, I should mention. But it has a very different demographic. One of the reasons that there's always been this fighting there is because it's predominantly Muslims in the north, and South Sudan is over 60% Christian. And it's very different tribes, very different demographics, if you will. And I think the South Sudan's looking at this and they're thinking, we might be able to get some consideration. They can certainly use some security assistance. Israel could certainly...
What's up, Sleeping Joe? Great to see you, by the way. Happy hump day. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far. Great to see you.
Provide a lot of security assistance that they need. There could be other countries that could step in. I think South Sudan's kind of looking at this thinking this might be an opportunity here if we open ourselves up to the refugee business. And of course, the question then becomes, will they stay? Will they go? And you deal with they might, over a period of time, a number of the Palestinians will probably find some way to go somewhere else. I don't think they're going to want to stay in South Sudan forever. But it's going to take a long time to rebuild Gaza. It's not clear if the Palestinians or how many of the Palestinians will come back to Gaza once it is rebuilt. So it's a fascinating idea.
Real quick, we got 35 likes and 29 now that are in here chatting. Man, I very much appreciate you guys and your engagement, man. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's a win. Shit. All right.
It's not something I would dismiss out of hand. It is actually a viable possibility. Of all the possibilities out there, it is viable. Although, as you mentioned at the start, yeah, they're moving from one war-torn area with famine to another war-torn area with famine.
It's also not completely clear if this were to be reality and they were to go somewhere else, Palestinians. It's also not clear what would be happening in Gaza in the interim, correct? Presumably they would be rebuilding, they'd be cleaning up. But there's no concrete plan, there's no concrete details. None of this is really being discussed at a concrete level, Hal, correct?
Well, there's no concrete plans, but I guarantee the plans will involve a lot of concrete by the time it's done. They have to do a lot of work there. That area is destroyed. I saw some interesting before and after pictures, looking across the border, and you simply see areas today that were full of buildings and homes there's not one home that isn't seriously damaged, and most of the buildings are simply leveled. And what's happening in Gaza is certainly amongst the most dire things that I've seen, and it definitely matches some of the more pessimistic predictions of what would happen. But it does tell you just how how ingrained Hamas was in Gaza and how ingrained it was within the population there. So very difficult to get them out. And by the way, we're seeing a really tough opportunity.
You know what was really sad is I saw on social media, I think it was this exact drop right here. But they've been doing a lot of these air support, airdrops. Unfortunately, killed a 15-year-old boy. And as it was landing, they were all trying to scatter and get away from it. And unfortunately, the 15-year-old misguided and kind of like ran to exactly where it got smashed onto the ground, and it squished him, killed him. You know what I mean? It's terrible. I was like, damn, that's miserable.
Operation coming up, going into Gaza City. That is a dense area. It's about 1 million people. They got to get those people out. This is a good time to talk about where do you put them. And of course, you got not just surface stuff, not just the buildings. You got all that subterranean, all those tunnels, everything else, and then trying to go in there and rescue hostages in that environment. It is going to be a very complex, demanding operation. And that's why Israel's pulling up 400,000 reservists. They're getting ready. They're making it very clear that they're going in.
I should mention that
Damn, it is downpouring outside right now. The amount of water that's coming down right now is insane. Wow. It's storming. Shit.
AP, who had that exclusive reporting about South Sudan, they made clear that it's unclear how far the talks have advanced with South Sudan. Another thing I wanted to hit on with you, Hal. You might have seen this image. Israel Katz sent this out. He's the Israeli defense minister. He posted this on social media recently. He says that this shows a chart of senior Israeli officials and military officials that Iran intends to assassinate. Hal, correct me if I'm wrong. This looks like the same type of graphics that Israel made when it was assassinating key figures of groups like Hamas and Hezbollah. It's been a while since we talked about Iran. Are they still licking their wounds?
Yeah, but anybody can make this little thing up. Anybody can mock this up. Is this real? It shows that it came off of Telegram up here. And then Israel Katz posted it. I don't know who Israel Katz is. But anybody could really make that. So who knows if this actually came out. But nonetheless, we're not going to go into that. No need for us to go into wild propaganda. We're going to move on. We have 2 more things to give you guys real quick before we end this show, because we are quickly coming up to our hour. But we have now an update of the National Guard troops, those 800 that were deployed. I told you guys we're going to circle back to that, and this was as of like 3-4 hours ago. So this is our newest update regarding this.
Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, and good morning to you. If you're just now tuning in, I'm Jeanne Francine. We do want to transition to your top political headlines this Wednesday morning, giving you a live look out in Washington, D.C. This as National Guard troops rolled into Washington overnight as part of...
Hell no, that motherfucker definitely, you're sinking. You're sinking, bro. You're fucked. Yeah, it's definitely heavy. It's like, how they say, when people have their hard steel toed boots and shit like that, and they go over in the water, that's one of the things that actually fucking bring you down. Like, you got to take that shit off. yeah, that's definitely not a good thing.
President Donald Trump's federal takeover of the city's police. Officials say the move targets rising violent crime, but city leaders are condemning it as an unprecedented overreach. A lot to break down, so we want to check in with none other than Fox News correspondent Lucas Tomlinson. He has the very latest from Washington this morning. Lucas, good morning.
Good morning, Jeanne. The National Guard has arrived in the nation's capital under President Trump's orders to fight crime and reduce homelessness. At the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says this ramped-up presence...
No kidding, Papa Penguin. Definitely should have some floaties for the leg, bro.
...could last for about a month.
Within these 30 days, our entire focus is making sure that this is the most efficient operation possible and that we are removing as many criminals from the streets.
At the Justice Department, the newly confirmed U.S. Attorney for D.C., Jeanine Pirro, was asked about violent crime being down in the nation's capital 26% over the past year.
You tell the mother of the intern who was shot going out for McDonald's.
Come on, lady. Why has she always got to be so over the top when she speaks? I mean, she's awesome, but... you just blew out my ears and shit.
Near the Washington Convention Center, oh, crime is down. No, that falls on deaf ears. And my ears are deaf to that. And that's why I fight the fight.
Federal law enforcement agents are also assisting. FBI Director Kash Patel posting the results on the first big push of FBI supporting Donald Trump, initiative to make D.C. safe.
Absolutely, Brother Steve Posey. We'll see you on the flip side. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know that you're going to be still hanging out, but... always appreciate you hanging out with us.
Again, FBI reported 10 arrests with partners. These include 1 arrest on a search warrant for a prior murder charge, multiple unlawful possession of firearms, multiple outstanding warrants for DUI, and 1 arrest for violation of a restraining order. President Trump has ordered 800 National Guard soldiers to help local law enforcement patrol the streets. The D.C. police force is short about the same number of cops right now. D.C.'s police union says he doubts that crime has come down as much as city officials claim. Jeanne?
Fox News' Lucas Tomlinson, always stellar and detailed reporting. Thank you so much for the detailed breakdown. Have a great rest of your day.
You as well.
Thank you. And I do want to share with the viewers the very latest from Mayor Muriel Bowser. Take a look at your screen. She put this out on X.
Of course. Crime is down in Washington, D.C. And as we've discussed, it's very easy to cook those the books on that and make it look like that. And Trump is coming out, and he came and brought out a graph, like a poster, and showing, well, no, actually it's up. Crime is actually up here, you know?
It says, quote, violent crime in D.C. is at its lowest level in 30 years.
Yes, I am on tonight on the Diamond Effect at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right back here on the Insane Wheels channel. Absolutely, Frank, I'll be here.
Had an unacceptable spike in 2023, so we changed our laws and strategies. Now, crime levels are not only down from 2023, but from before the pandemic. Our tactics are working, and we aren't taking our foot off the gas, end quote.
All right, we're going to go ahead and move on into the very, very last thing here. It's a very quick update, so it's nothing too long here. And then we'll find you guys somewhere to raid. We're definitely going to raid a channel. We're going to hang out with a friend.
7:13 here on the East Coast. Welcome back to Live Now from Fox, and good morning to you if you're just now tuning in. I'm Jeanne Francine. We do have a news alert as relates to the latest with U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Transitioning your screen to the latest video as we are looking ahead to Friday. The Associated Press reports U.S. President Donald Trump repeatedly said during his successful campaign for a second term that he could end the war in Ukraine in, quote, 24 hours. But since his January 20th inauguration, the road to a peace deal has been fraught with changing dynamics among Trump, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, and Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, a lot of lives were lost, and I lost a bet with Papa Penguin in the chat. Come on, Trump, do better.
Putin. A summit between President Donald Trump and Putin is set for Friday in Alaska. It could now be a pivotal moment.
I put a lot of faith in him being able to end the shit.
For the 3.5-year-old war. President Donald Trump's rhetoric toward both Zelenskyy and Putin has evolved this year. At the start of his second term, Trump was a certain way towards Putin, for whom he has long shown admiration. But as Putin remained objective and rejected an unconditional truce proposed by President Trump, the Republican leader has expressed increasing exasperation with the Russian leader, criticizing him for his, quote, unbudging stance on U.S.-led peace efforts and for prolonging the war. Until recently, President Trump repeatedly said Russia seemed more willing than Ukraine to get a deal done. President Trump appears to have softened toward Zelenskyy after a February confrontation in the Oval Office. And in a reversal, he promised at some point to provide Ukraine with badly needed Patriot air defense missiles. This under a deal that would see NATO allies in Europe deliver them from their stock to be replaced by future U.S. supplies. And speaking of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, I do want to share the very latest from him, courtesy of X. Take a look at your screen. Zelenskyy put out, quote, "Over the past few days, there have been more than 30 conversations and consultations with partners. Different parts of the world, different perspectives, but shared positions. This war must be ended. Pressure must be exerted on Russia for the sake of a just peace. Ukraine's and our partners' experience must be used to prevent deception by Russia." He goes on to say, quote, "At present, there is no sign that the Russians are preparing to end the war. Our coordinated efforts and joint actions of Ukraine, the United States, Europe, and all countries that seek peace can definitely compel Russia to make peace." He concludes by saying, quote, "I thank everyone who is helping," end quote. And as we are following this, I do want to share with you, as he speaks of partners in Europe, at this hour, we do have a live look out in Berlin, Germany. You're taking a live exterior from the German Chancellery, where Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is expected to arrive this Wednesday for a virtual meeting ahead of the Trump-Putin.
It's a virtual meeting.
Summit later this week. Again, that summit expected to take place in Alaska. We'll keep a close eye on all things.
Yep, and we'll definitely be, that's what we do here, is we make sure that we keep up to date with everything that's happening in the world, all the chaos, all the madness. That's what we do here, man. Listen, I can't thank you guys enough for being here. Thank you guys for the engagement, your donations. All of those things never go unnoticed, so I really can't thank you guys enough. Listen, make sure you guys stick around. We're going to be rating our buddy Tomfoolery. He is the exact opposite stance of me, by the way, of pretty much everything political. He's a very much a liberal, or he actually doesn't consider himself a liberal. He considers himself a Democrat. But yeah, he's as left as it gets, bro. But it's awesome. It's awesome. He's actually good people. So make sure you guys stick around for that. Make sure you let him know that we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid and stuff like that. And as well as hit the like button here at the very end. Doesn't matter if you guys did it in the very beginning or in the middle or at the end, man. I appreciate you guys' laborious work there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tonight, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Diamond Effect with Archbishop and Aaron Olinger. It's going to be a great time. Make sure you guys stick around for that. If I don't see you guys tonight, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Same bad channel, same bad time, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back at it. So, until then, God bless everyone. Much love, honor, respect. We'll see you guys very soon. Be safe out there.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire.